Hello every single person who is watching this video, which is most likely not going to be much because there isn't quite a few Crim Tycoon fans that also watch my channel at the same time. But anyways, this is an updated video of all of the Criminal Tycoon game passes because I now have every single one of them. I'll be ranking them in order. First is VIP, which gives you pretty much the best regular type gun. Its DPS is really good. I should probably put MT49 back there. But it's really good. Its fire rate is pretty good. It's basically just a reskin of a Tommy gun, so it's the exact same. It has the exact same stats as a Tommy gun, except with very slightly better accuracy. So I'm not going to rank the Tommy gun because of that, because it's pretty obvious. It's just going to be the exact same. Next is SWAT, which gives you access to a pretty decently OP SWAT shield. That's OP sometimes, OP sometimes, and trash other times. It occasionally blocks bullets entirely and blocks bullets of NPCs pretty much all the time. And it gives you a rifle that does slightly more damage. That seems to do like slightly more damage to other SWAT shields and all vehicles and stuff, so it's basically just probably might be like something like a 10% extra damage or 15% extra damage, because how I tested that out is because I tested it has the same amount of ammo as Golden AK and the same damage except slightly more terrible fire rate. And what I tested out is that I'll give you a demonstration. I think for the vehicle I always used, I always test it out on McLaren. So for SWAT M4, it's able to entirely destroy it with one clip. While Golden AK, keep in mind, has a slightly better fire rate and the same 13.8 damage. Yeah, 13.8. Except Golden AK, from as far as I can tell, does not fully destroy it, so it has like an extra 0.1 damage per shot, most likely. Although the fire rate difference is not good enough to be able to consider an Ossus 140 is usable as like a I don't want to try aiming type of gun. Next is Auto Collect, which is pretty self-explanatory. It just gives you money automatically, which is pretty good for farming, I guess. Next is Extra Max Duffel, which is actually just Extra Duffel. Just make it so you get slightly more cash, good for farming and stuff, like an extra 5k. Pretty much that's it. And also, I just realized I have a pretty nice, pretty tasty looking 371k. I'm gonna just save that up for now. What vehicle looks nice? This is off topic. I already have this fully upgraded in speed. I already have that. Spider is practically useless in my opinion. I guess what I'll do is that I'll just continue grinding crates until I get the Veloz. I could fully upgrade VIP car. And this is just better than it. Or I could get the go-go. Nah, you know what? You're gonna see me spend some of my money right here. I never go under 1 million. Alright, let's see. 18 crates. Just got a skin that I really wanted, but already have. If I get it, I'm going to scream. I did not get anything of good use. But anyways, back to the topic. Tactical vest, it's just slightly more health, it just makes it slightly more tanky, I guess. Next is +3 weapon equip, which just basically allows you to have so many weapons that you basically just have an infinite supply of ammo, I guess, although it makes it slightly annoying to reload them all because you have to like sit still for a bit. But it's overall really useful. It's overall just extremely useful in terms of pretty much anything, because it allows you to just switch between multiple different play styles or types of weapons. You can switch from using all-powerful RPG to like spamming SWAT M4 for car damage, and then using this for like finishing somebody off, and then using this to go up close and dominate them, and then using this to sniper for long range. You could just switch between every loadout in playstyle you can think of under the sun, because you're just so powerful. I'll just reload all these real quick. Anyways, it's just tanky. It's just... Next is Invic. Everybody under the sun probably knows about Invictus at this point. We all know it. We all most likely hate it or love it, but mostly hate. It's just a really powerful heli with increased speed. It just has much more speed in terms of everything. It just has a pretty high damaging thing that just dominates, and also missiles that do quite a bit of damage. You can just casually go down and destroy a car in one shot. Although the bullets don't seem to hit on moving cars, what you can do is that you can predict where they're going to go with missiles. Just use the thing, and then you can just hit them while they're moving, and they won't expect it, and then you can just finish them off with bullets, and it's OP. Next is RPG, which is my favorite weapon to ever use ever since the buff. When fully upgraded, does a whopping 126.5 damage, and has a pretty okay fire rate. Looks like this, although it does self-damage if you're not in a crew. If you're in a crew, you're completely immune to doing damage to yourself. As you can see, if I do it like that, I'm going to take damage. If I create a crew and fire it, no matter how close I get, I'm not going to take damage. This, which makes it really useful, especially if somebody who you're not trying to hunt down or never gets a bounty invites you to the crew. You can just be immune to self-damage for free, or you can just spend an extra 5k to hurt your own crew. And it's really all just a good thing. M249, it's just a pretty decent gun. It is not worth it until it's like fully upgraded, because its damage is so bad when not fully upgraded, but when fully upgraded, it's passable. Its fire rate's pretty good, its ammo is extremely good, its damage, DPS / its damage is pretty good, its DPS is like, okay. Overall, just a pretty powerful gun overall. It's just extremely loud. The accuracy when you hold right click is good. So it's basically just like a replacement sniper if you want to get like mid-ish range. Overall, just okay. Wouldn't recommend to buy it as one of the first thing. I'd recommend VIP first. Next is Agent, which is overall like probably the worst game pass of them all. It gives you a gun that even when fully upgraded is pretty mid. It does extra damage to NPCs. And that's pretty much it. Just does slightly extra damage to NPCs, I think, from what I've seen. Yeah, slightly extra damage to NPCs. It looks really nice in my opinion. It sounds quiet, which is nice, but in terms of utility, it's not really that good. The FAMAS is better. You can just wait to that, or you can just get a slightly weaker FAMAS instantly for a couple bucks. Next is Mafia, which is another one of the most worth it game passes. It gives you a reskin of the golden AK, literally exact same stats. I'm not going over again. And it gives you a really good vehicle. It gives you a vehicle that has a okay speed and has a free 1,000 health. So its off-roading ability is also pretty good. And I have it fully upgraded, so it's even better. But it's overall just a well-rounded, extremely good vehicle. Oh, and speaking of that, the SWAT truck, which it used to be basically just like an okay-ish vehicle for people who need a lot of health on their vehicle. And it gets stuck in the ground, but it has a decent speed, pretty decent acceleration. It also has sirens if you press Y. The acceleration, just think of the acceleration as around The acceleration is around the same as the babies. Ish. Yeah, it's just a bit slower than the fully upgraded baby. Let's see, where can I find a vehicle that feels the exact same? No, not Ford Focus. I don't have this fully upgraded, I'll test this. Yeah, it feels around like this. The acceleration is around like this, and it's max, and it slows down quite a bit at around 100 miles per hour. And the Confederate's just really tanky. And then Insurgent, which is basically Ground Invictus, except Ground Invictus. It's a bit more fun, and it has a really good fire skin that works good with red rims. Its DPS is pretty good. It can fend off against an Invictus if they don't know how to fire missiles. Fend off pretty well, especially if they're standing still. I use it. It's pretty good for car destroying and hunting somebody down, and it reloads pretty quickly, which makes it pretty good. And if I check once again, that is every single game pass, just summarized overall. And another thing is that if you have SWAT, agent, or mafia, you get access to a special suit that you can put on your character, as well as the little miniature versions of the cars will sit down here, which is pretty cute. These little miniature versions. So small boys. Especially the tiny SWAT truck, which is the old model, and also clips into the wall. Well, these are every single one of the game passes. And out of all of them, personally, if you have a bunch of money, get Invictus or Insurgent. For like starter game pass, I recommend getting VIP and +3. If you're for more defensive, get Tactical Vest and SWAT. And I guess Insurgent, because that's like a pretty defensive type vehicle. And for DPS, VIP, RPG, and SWAT, all for their guns respectively. And for farming, just get auto collect max duffel and VIP, because VIP gives you a small amount of cash boost. Basically, the cash boost for it, the amount of money your bounty will increase by will also be added to your cash amount when you turn in your cash. So basically, just a slight buff. So the cash will 10%. And overall, best game pass, most likely, most worth it, +3. It just gives you so many options to play around with. And that's everything, and I'm going to end it off by opening 2 crates. Which I got. Stuff I already have. Anyways, that's it. So, see ya.